Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Ethereum injective and Solana price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. We're gonna start with Ethereum on the 1 hour chart where we have bottomed here for Ethereum exactly as expected. We start to move as a double 1-2s and then 1-2-3, wave 4 and a wave 5 toward the upside, finish as 1-2-3-4-5 to finish a wave 3. Meaning 1-2-3 and then 4 and a 5. Currently we're working on the wave 5 in the yellow scenario. Inside this wave 5 you would like to see a 1-2-3-4 and a 5 to finish up, of course, around the 4,153. And this is, of course, a target given already for a potential 1-to-1 fib level here for a big A, B, and a C. This wave C might end up, of course, as an A, B, and a C. However, very unlikely here because I'm going to show you what's going on also on the daily for Ethereum. We are looking still, of course, for higher in 3, 4, and a 5 at least. So basically, what we are looking right now is a 1-2 wave 3 unfinished, and we're still looking for higher and then 4 and a 5. Now, those are the old targets. I'm going to remove it and find a new confluence here for the wave 5 in the yellow scenario first, where we are looking for this potential wave 5 here over wave 1. So as you can see, a confluence already with the 1-to-1 fib level for the ABC as well, and even much more confluence that we can have here for the wave 3 potentially to finish up somewhere exactly between the 1.618 and the 1.27, which is, of course, your wave 3 only, because the wave 4 and a 5 is gonna finish up exactly inside this blue box. So we have even higher potential of precision here. 4,153 would be a perfect target, of course, for 3, 4, and a 5 to finish up here. And then, of course, proceeding with a wave 4 in the orange scenario. And with this orange scenario, you're going to finish a huge wave 1 potentially here for this impulse toward the upside, which it might unfold, of course, a wave 2 after it and continuation for higher prices. If we move to the daily here, to see the all-time history, what we are looking at, if you remember, of course, for Ethereum here, we are looking at a potential triangle. And this triangle is, of course, after having a wave A here potentially, and we have A, B, C, D, and an E. And this wave D is very close to the top, very close to the invalidation of the triangle. We would like to see, of course, this triangle taken in the top here and invalidated to shift, of course, to something much more bullish, which is, of course, this scenario in double 1-2s. So by all means here on the 4 days chart, all-time history, we are in double 1-2s. We have 1-2, 1-2 as W, X, and a Y, because this is gonna, of course, break the invalidation of the triangle and then continue towards the upside, 1.618, 1.38 potentially for $7,000 or $8,000 for Ethereum, meaning you are in a potential 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5 toward the upside, and potentially even continuation for the second wave 3, 4, and a 5 in the yellow scenario, meaning, of course, Ethereum might still seek for higher in the next cycles. Basically, what we are looking at for here is a potential 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, and a 5, unfinished 4 and a 5 to finish up, of course, this wave 3 inside this blue zone. And of course, we might go deeper a little bit for wave 4 after it, and then going, of course, for higher later on. We're going to see how this is going to unfold step by step, and we're going to, of course, follow it till the end for Ethereum. However, very recommended to take the 4,100, which is the invalidation of this triangle and confirmation for moving towards this blue box. That was it for Ethereum. Let's go to Injective. So Injective on the all-time history as well is very interesting to take a look. We have here, of course, a very bullish chart. We are in a big double 1-2s, 1, 2, and a big 1, and another wave 2. And we're looking, of course, for higher 1.618, the blue box, which is, of course, taking the all-time high here, and looking for a wave 5 potentially as well as a leading diagonal at the same time. meaning 1 2 1 2, wave 3 4 and a 5 4 and a 5, or even 1 2 3 4 5, leading diagonal wave 1 2 and then 3 4 5 toward the upside. Final scenario can be an ABC zigzag finish in a 3 waves and then 3 waves toward the downside for a wave B, and you're looking for a wave C toward the upside again to hit around this blue box. All those scenarios will take the all-time high above the $50, and of course very likely to hit is this blue zone between the $60 and $89 for injective. For the bearish scenario, in case we are bearish and corrective, it is a very early even to call this. The minimum target for the bearish is the 1-to-1 fib level, $21.9 here. Of course, taken from the daily on, of course, injective here as a zigzag. So basically, if we are still looking for something corrective, which I very doubt it, after this big corrective wave, ABC hitting the 1-to-1 fib level in confluence in our box of opportunity, which it might boom toward the upside, and this is exactly what's going on. We were waiting for months for this, for injective, and we're looking here for the 1-to-1 fib level as minimum target, in case, only in case, that we need, of course, a wave C, that it might unfold as a regular flat here, and hitting again the low before we move toward the upside for a bigger wave B here, and then wave C to unfold later on. However, injective still looking therefore around the $22 as a zigzag A, B, and a C, and then moving toward the upside, breaking this final test level, I would say, for injective, meaning 1.618 is the next target, $38. And then 4 and a 5 is simply to hit this blue box might unfold in the next price action. If we dive a little bit inside this on the 2 hours chart here, we are looking, of course, at this pattern that we just saw on the daily as a wave 1, 2, or at least A, B, and a C. And as you can see, the 1-to-1 fib level is to hit the $22 here, at least for injective, in case we are in a zigzag A, B, and a C. Currently, this wave C is unfolding as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave 2, and then you have, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 3, and then wave 4 and a wave 5. What I doubt here is something much more bigger is unfolding, and that this might transform to a 1-2 and another 1-2 given already, and we're looking for a massive wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 towards the upside. However, I'm gonna change this exactly once we break, of course, this 1-to-1 fib level, because this might be the signal that this is your wave 3 there, and we might seek after 4, 5, 4, 5 towards the upside. Now, if we dive a little bit deeper inside this area here, of course, after this deep correction that we saw lately, we saw, of course, a surge again toward the upside for injective. We see double 1-2s here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, of course, unfolding for higher prices. As you can see, this wave 5 here in the blue scenario, the wave 3 in the blue scenario is unfolding as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 in the white. And of course, this wave 5 is 1, 2, 3, wave 4, and 1, 2, 3, wave 4, and a 5 to finish again. So as you can see, guys, the things are becoming very fractal as impulses, and this is exactly what we would like to see for Elliott wave concept as impulses, how it becomes fractal. Each impulse becomes a bigger impulse inside it, and of course unfolding very high prices and very fast price action. Targets for this scenario is at least the $18 here, where we are seeking, of course, for confluence for a wave 5 taken from the zone 1 here in the blue, and of course based on the wave 3 you can see, of course, a $18 exactly there in confluence with a bigger target here taken from the lower part of this impulse wave 1 and wave 3 toward the upside here, where you can see, of course, much higher prices, wave 1 in the yellow, of course, and taken all over the wave 3 in the yellow, giving us a bigger blue zone here, and we see the confluence between them. However, I'm expecting even at least to continue toward the upside fractally, of course, because this might become even higher prices, somehow like that. And of course, this might unfold here, wave 3, 4, and a 5. Well, even the wave 3, I'm expecting much, much higher, guys. I'm expecting a very fractal and strong trend toward the upside here to unfold. In case, of course, we break the 22K. But we're gonna leave it, of course, until that time, step by step. But what I believe right now in injective is that we are shifting from 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to a potential 1, 2, 1, 2, wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 toward the upside. Very interesting, of course, and this is how the things becomes fractal. Rather than being in a wave 3 here, it's going to transform to a wave 1, 2, and then new wave 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5. That was it for injective. Let's move for Solana. Now for Solana, we don't see really on the lower time frames the same moves for injective and Ethereum, which is understandable. I'm going to explain why. So basically for Solana, we are looking here at a wave 1, 2, and potentially another 1, 2, which is of course finishing here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to finish a wave 3, of course, in the orange scenario, wave 4. Already given perfectly in the blue box, and now we unfold and impose wave 1. So basically Solana is of course still bullish and potentially having wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, 5 continuation for higher prices. We're gonna see of course a new highs hitting this blue box between of course the $246 and can be of course between the 238 as well. So we might see kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 still for Solana, but don't forget that this will hit exactly the wave C. In this case scenario, if you finish, of course, at the wave C, as is 3 waves toward the upside, you might continue, of course, for lower later on. Why I understand this price action for Solana, and that because, of course, of the daily price action for Solana on the all-time history. Let me explain. So, on the daily for Solana, we are very bullish, definitely. But it is not yet the time to be very, very bullish toward the upside, unless, of course, one case. I'm going to mention it also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, impulse, wave A or wave 1, and followed by a correction, wave B or wave 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, impulse again for wave 3. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, wave 4, of course, in case we are in a leading diagonal, wave 4 needs to be, of course, 3 waves corrective toward the downside. You have already an impulse toward the upside, downside, and you're looking here at a rebound, 3 waves, potentially corrective, hitting the 1-to-1 fib level as expected on the lower time frame, 248, and then moving towards the downside for wave C, A, B, and a C, 4, of course, hitting this wave 4 in a leading diagonal to unfold the bullish scenario as a wave 5. Another potential scenario is a wave 1, wave 2, another wave 1, wave 2. The wave 2 has to hit, of course, as well as this blue zone to move toward the upside for a massive wave 3. And finally, I would say A, B, C zigzag and A, B, and a C for a wave B, of course, in the white. And you're looking therefore for a wave C, finally to unfold, of course, for higher prices in a big A, B, and a C formation. Therefore, I'm of course expecting that the $250 for Solana might be a target, and of course shifting toward the downside again for this blue box before moving for new highs. Unless of course we get an expanding flat here, which I doubt it because of the impulse signal here that we have as a zigzag for a wave A. I doubt it that Solana is gonna hit the wave B expanding flat, taking new highs, and then unfolding wave C towards the downside as an expanding flat, of course. But this scenario is still very far a little bit due to the impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave A, meaning it says zigzag here that it might unfold after hitting the 1-to-1 fib level. Very interesting. So that was it basically, guys, for Ethereum, Injective, and Solana. I started today with those altcoins because we see the altcoins exploding, especially of course Ethereum and Injective, which are the highest performers for today. And next is coming Bitcoin, guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye.